Good morning, Monday morning, second week of 2025, working week that is. Beautiful morning here, nice and crisp. There's Stella with her coat on. It's a beautiful morning for walking about. A wee bit grey in the sky, but that's fine. But big lessons this morning for you. Because if you've got this far, having a go with your goals, you did the thing through December, you maybe went to the other playlist here on the channel and you did the 4-day workshop, or you combined days 3 and 4 into one so that you could get the process completed, and you've got your 7 goals and you've started working, maybe even with a night book. Fantastic. But the thing, of course, is what I've warned you about is that you're going to be tested. And so here's the good news: if you've already given up, then that's a good sign. It means, you see, that at some level of consciousness, or if you're like me and you believe in the notion of a source, excuse me, however you like to represent that to yourself, whatever you think it means, or it's just a level of consciousness that you kind of think makes sense, then you've had the intention, by going through the process of identifying the goals and by maybe beginning to program them, and maybe even using the night book, which would be fantastic, that what's happened is you've already maybe abandoned them. Like the 90% plus of human beings who started the 1st of January with the best of intentions too, but you know, the gravitational pull of the comfort zone, the challenge of real change, the overcoming procrastination, all of that stuff that's so human of us being just mortal, is that they've abandoned them and you've probably abandoned them. And what I've suggested to you is that the source, or that level of consciousness, tests you, because why on earth would it get to work with everything it's going to have to do for you to manifest those goals, especially the ones that you've not worried about how you're going to get there. You haven't got into that planning nonsense because you understand that's not your job at this stage, and you've even figured out your why, but you've already abandoned them. It's a tough time, but it's a good sign if you have, because it means at some level you've struck a chord and it's testing you. And here we are in the second Monday of the year. Are you going to do it? Are you going to do what you have to do? Are you going to continue to consult your night book if you've got one? You're going to get into your alpha state and visualize and screen 3 and 4. Are you going to get to work with maybe even creating vision boards and stuff like that? These things help, of course. But the truth of the matter is, even I've been tested. It's quite interesting is, my intentions, I think I've made known to you, is that I want to get all the legacy courses up in a platform somewhere this year. And I wanted to kick off to help you guys, for your family and friends, to have that introductory course available for 30 quid. And it's quite interesting because what's happened is, inevitably, I think with me, because whilst I went into a studio and I had help in terms of filming it and so on, I still got to do the editing, because I can't hand it over to, say, a professional editor, because they don't know the course, they don't know what I'm attempting to emphasise at any given moment. And so what happened is, inevitably with my kind of brain, and just with the intensity of it all, I've made some mistakes in editing. But I didn't know you when I checked through. You get a the thing where you just can't notice it, and that happens. Then what's good is that 3 people who've gone through the programme, or going through it, have let me know where they've noticed there's an obvious editing error. And I'm so grateful for them. And I'm going to spend much of today putting that right. Might take a little bit longer before we get it up, because of I live here in darkest Kent and the internet upload speeds take forever, so it may take forever to get the changes up, but we'll just run with the flow. But to be frank, part of me is like, seriously, when you hear about it, you're like, oh God, I need to go and get that left brain of mine out to go through the process, remembering the process of... There's a big part of me went, oh, forget it. I'm just like you, I'm human. And, but I'm going to overcome that because of the power of my fourth screen, because I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for you guys. But what's also interesting, just to be aware of it, is it's interesting that only 3 people out of a huge amount of people who bought that programme, and some good Mindstore repeaters, from what I can see, they didn't notice them, or they haven't, listen to this bit, they haven't got to that module yet. Because, I'm going to say this, a 30 quid product of life-changing material, it's not valued. So, you're not going to do it. That's the price I paid for this dilemma of what to charge. I guess if you spent 2,000 quid on it, you'd probably have finished it now, because you'd invested. 30 quid is just ridiculous. And that, but anyway, you know what I'm doing. I'm attempting to make it easy for that 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 18-year-old, maybe even 30-year-old member of the family who you know can achieve so much with these tools and techniques, because you and I know that they only work. They only work. So if you've been challenged, to been tested, join the club. But overcome it. Overcome it. Get out your comfort zone. Take the risks. But we've got this amazing tool that not only do we maybe have the desire to take the risks, we have the tools to help us. You know, you can use middle of the night programming. You can program early in the morning your day, arrive early ahead of the critical meeting or event, or even the phone call. Just pre-program it. Consult your coaches. My goodness, and if you're just finished doing the introductory course and you're joining me here, then you've got all the tools you need there anyway. You've not got all the advanced tools. Not for 30 quid you haven't, but you've got enough to last a lifetime. Get with it, guys. The year will fly by with or without you programming. Have a cracker. See ya, Ramora.